We've got a great game for you here today. We've got Matt Cooper playing as the Blue Zerg, and we've got David Kim playing as the Red Terrans.
These players are going to be duking it out on blistering stands. This is a 1v1 map that no one at home has gotten to see yet. Down in the lower left-hand corner of the map, we can see David Kim starting as the Red Terran, and all the way across the terrain up in that top right corner, we have Matthew Cooper playing as the Blue Zerg.
Yeah, so this map has a lot of special features on it that will really affect the course of gameplay, and there's a lot of new mechanics that are original and new to StarCraft 2 on this map. Now, coming down from the Zerg base, there's this narrow ramp here that players can use to defend their base. And from this ramp, you move into the first, what we call the natural expansion. This is a place where the Zerg player could easily create a new base and harvest some additional resources. There's a very small choke here the Zerg player can use to defend his base. And as we move out across the map, we'll see there's other opportunities for both players to expand. There's these rocks that are guarding this expansion. You need to destroy these rocks with weapon fire in order to get access to these yellow crystals, which are worth a lot more than the blue crystals that are in the players' bases. There's also these Zelnaga watchtowers, which players can capture with a single unit that gives them vision over a wide area of the map. These are very, very key to understanding what's going on the map and to be able to scout your enemy's movements before he moves to engage you. And like any good StarCraft map, it's mirrored on all sides. So you can see there's another rock up there with some more yellow crystals, and over here there's an expansion for the Terrans, a small choke point that leads back up into the Terran base.
David Kim's throwing down his first barracks as he sends that first SCV out to try to scout Matthew Cooper's base.
Yeah, and that SCV is going to move past there. He's going to see that Overlord flying overhead, so he knows the other player's playing as the Zerg at this point, and he's going to move in and see what he can see inside the Zerg base. This first scout is very, very important. And here comes a drone moving down, trying to create a fast expansion.
And here he goes. It's looking like that SCV is just going to miss that drone. We can see that Matt Cooper was saving up his minerals to try and get the fast expand down. And it looks like David Kim moves away. He doesn't see this expansion. And Matthew Cooper seizes the opportunity and places that natural expand.
What a great move by the Zerg player. That SCV could totally have blocked that drone from making that hatchery. The hatchery cannot build where the SCV is standing. So the SCV could just hung out there and blocked that drone from making that hatchery. Instead, the drone sneaks off, hides in the back, and he's able to make the expansion, put the hatchery in play, and the SCV is reduced to just scouting around inside the Zerg base.
And so David Kim is moving this SCV around, and it looks like Matt Cooper tries to throw down a spawning pool, but that SCV gets a little revenge by blocking it, delaying it for a few seconds. Matthew Cooper knows that he needs to get down that spawning pool to keep up, and there it goes.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was hoping to do with the hatchery. He could have kept that hatchery occupied and off the board for a long time, but instead the hatchery has gone down, and now even the spawning pools go down, and that SCV is just reduced to scouting around inside the base.
And now David Kim's base, he's just building like usual. And back over at that natural expansion, David Kim is not giving up on harassing this natural.
And there goes a bunker. What a great move by the Terran players, putting a bunker into position there. And you can see the drone is attacking the bunker, trying to attack the SCV to make sure that bunker doesn't go into position. If the Terran player can get any troops into that bunker, it could be a real problem for the Zerg player.
Now, the Zerg player is not discouraged by this move. He's moving out an extra drone to give it just a little bit back up. He wants that hatchery to finish. It is imperative to his strategy to get that fast expand.
And here comes the Terrans trying to reinforce that bunker. He's got another SCV, and his first Marine is moving across the map, trying to get to that bunker in time so he can really use that bunker to tear apart that hatchery and just cause all kinds of problems for the Zerg player.
Like we can see that Matt Cooper's spawning pool just finished up, and there we can see 4 Zerglings being built. He's going to need those Zerglings to take down that bunker.
Now you can see in the upper left-hand corner there, we've got our new overlays that show us what's going on the map. And you can see there are 4 Zerglings currently in production right now, and a Queen, which could be instrumental in protecting this Zerg base from this very aggressive move by the Terran player.
And Matthew Cooper is going for Banelings as well. We saw him put down that extractor a little bit earlier. He now has some gas. He's getting those Banelings started. They deal absolutely enormous damage to ground units.
And there, the one Marine has gotten into the bunker, and the bunker is being repaired by the SCV, and the Terran presses on. The creep is expanding around the bunker, but it's not going to be enough to really stop this bunker from doing a lot of damage. The Zergling, 4 Zerglings is not enough to take down that bunker, so especially with the SCVs in the area. So he's going to back away and move to a position here where he can block any additional reinforcements from moving to engage against this bunker. He doesn't want any more Terran forces to get in here and help this bunker out. And you can see those Zerglings are dancing back and forth on the left-hand side of your screen while the Queen dances around looking for an opportunity to come in and strike at this bunker. And here's some Zerglings moving in. Oh, not quite liking the look of that. They need more reinforcements than that. Moving away to a chance where they can move everything in to attack the bunker.
Now, Matt Cooper's moving in with everything all at once. Right as his spine crawler is just about to finish up, he's going to lay down too much fire on that bunker for those SCVs to handle. It's looking like a relatively large loss for David Kim.
Yeah, he's taken out that Marine, and he's taken out that bunker, and it looks like the Terran's hopes of sort of an early victory against this expansion have been dashed. The Queen is in play, and the Zerglings are free, loose, moving across the map.
Now we can see the Queen taking advantage of spawning those extra larvae on that hatchery. We just saw them fly off of there. Back over at David Kim's base, he has continued production as usual. He does have a second bunker down, and he's going for 2 tech labs in addition to the Merc compound. We could see some Reapers out here.
Yeah, the Merc compound allows him to upgrade his Marines, but it also enables him to create Reapers, which is a small, fast, jump jet equipped infantry that can really... Oh, and here comes the Zerg trying to push in. The Terrans bring up a few SCVs as reinforcements, and the Marines manage to drive the Zerg back. The Terrans have managed to hold their choke against what might have been a very dangerous raid by the Zerg.
That's right. That was too many Zerglings for just those 4 Marines to try to hold off. So we did bring up those SCVs as a little reinforcement. We do see a couple Banelings being morphed into play over here. Those Zerglings are able to evolve into Banelings, which are little guys that roll around and explode for tons of damage.
Yeah, they do a lot of damage to small units like Reapers and like Marines. This could be a real threat to the Terran player, especially if he remains, in that choke in an area that's small. Those Banelings can do a lot of damage. He doesn't see the Banelings. He doesn't know the threat he's in here. He's just dancing out, trying to push the Zerg back, and the Zerg are backing away a little bit, trying to get the Terrans to draw away so they can really use those Banelings and Zergling to just tear them to pieces.
Now he's trying to keep all these units occupied while his Banelings get into position. Here he goes. It's looking like he's moving in, going to try to use those Banelings to deal some terrible damage on that Terran player.
Oh, and he manages to avoid the SCV. What a great move by the Zerg player. He's moving in. He's trying to find the perfect spot, and there he takes out a couple of Marines. What a great move. And it looks like the Marines are running for their lives now, trying to get away. He's got 1 Marine, 1 SCV on the run as he tries to get it. He's got 2 Reapers in the base, but it's looking very, very bad for the Terran player right now as the Zerg move in for what could be the kill.
If those Banelings are able to get around into the SCVs, we could deal huge economic damage to David Kim, but it's not looking like they're going to be able to get there because he places his Marine perfect. We have a couple of the Reapers laying down some cover fire. Will that Baneling be able to take out both of those Reapers? No, only one of them goes down. He still has the Reaper and the Marine to defend.
What a great move by the Terran player. He uses 1 Marine to block that position between those 2 barracks, and it prevented the Banelings from getting in and doing what they really wanted to do, which was get into the SCVs. They could have just done tons of damage to those SCVs, and instead, the Terran player gets away relatively free from that attack, and he's moved into a position here where he's not going to be able to do a lot. Now, the Zerg are moving their spine crawler up to defend their base, and it looks like he's preparing for what could be, what he's worried might be a counterattack. At the same time, he is putting down a Roach Warren, which is going to allow him to put roaches on the battlefield while the Terrans continue to move out and try to keep these Zerg away from his base.
Now, all these Zerglings here are just too many for a couple of those Marines in the SCV, so he brings the Reapers as backup. Will those Zerglings be able to surround the Reapers? No! One of those Reapers in the back only had 10 HP. Due to David Kim's fantastic positioning, he was able to keep that alive and keep the pressure on.
And that's a lot of Zerglings on the field right now. We saw a Terran bunker going up there by the Terran choke point there. That'll be a huge help for the Terran player. He's really going to need that. Meanwhile, we can see here in our overlays that the Zerg are researching Burrow, which could be a very effective weapon for the Zerg to continue his harassment of the Terrans. 1 Reaper scouting around trying to see what he can see. What a mistake. He's been surrounded and destroyed by the Zerg, who right now have complete control of the entire map.
Ooh, what a futile loss for David Kim. That was, it certainly wasn't worth anything. So we can see that David Kim is going for this command center. He knows that he needs to expand, or else Matt Cooper is going to pull ahead on that economic
advantage. And you can see here the Zerg are trying to break through these rocks that are a backdoor into the Terran base. At the same time, the Terran player is very, very aware of this threat. He knew this was a possibility the minute those Zerg moved away, and he's moved the SCV over here to create a supply depot where he can watch these rocks. And now the Terran player is very, very aware of the danger of these rocks being destroyed. He's going to bring some Reapers up and try to defend these rocks so that the Zerg don't break in and just destroy his entire base.
So those Reapers are able to hop off the cliff and pressure those Zerglings, and they're going to run away and try to hide behind the bushes. Those Reapers don't want to go behind the brush.
He doesn't want to move past the brush, absolutely, because the brush is something that blocks line of sight, and it prevents the Terran player from using his full range to his full advantage. So instead, the Zerg are going to move past the brush and burrow to sort of hide from those Reapers. And you can see there's more roaches moving up, even as the Reapers move up to capture this watchtower. They've captured the watchtower, and that's allowed them to see the roaches. And you can see the roaches are moving in here. That's not a good fight for those Reapers, and they're going to move away to safety.
Those Reapers need to get away as fast as possible, so they're going to go down. We have a couple more roaches, and the Zerglings are coming in for a surround. That one lone Reaper just happened to make the wrong kind of jump, and here he goes. He's getting pressured down. Will we see that Reaper fall? No, it's looking like he's getting away with just 5 HP.
Unbelievable move. He managed to skate away from that Zergling attack and save that Reaper. He really needs every unit on the battlefield right now. The Terran player's in a lot of trouble. He's got Zerglings, he's got roaches, he's got Banelings out on the battlefield to deal with. The Zerg are really in command right now. They're attacking the rocks at will, and they're continuing this relentless assault on the Terran base.
Now we can see that David Kim is going with even more Reapers to try and give the back of his base even more backup. He does not want Matthew Cooper getting in that back door.
Yeah, he really can't let Matt in the back door. And you can see he's moving here to try to engage. He's jumping down. The Reapers are very effective, those two pistols, against those Zerglings. And you can see he doesn't want to fight the Roaches quite as much. Even though he might be able to survive that fight, he would lose a lot of Reapers as part of the battle. And you can see the Zerg knows this. He's bringing up more Roaches to keep putting pressure on these rocks. At the same time, he's moving other forces to the front, trying to keep David Kim guessing, where are the Zerg going to attack next?
That's right. Matt Cooper is now able to pressure both the back and the front at the same time. We can see a bunch of Banelings getting morphed into play. Will they be able to finish in time? We have a bunch of those Reapers trying to go around and destroy that Roach threat, but it's not looking like it's going to happen. Will we see the Banelings finish? We're probably going to see some DA charges thrown down. Oh, there they are. Here come a bunch of Banelings. Those DA charges.
Oh, terrible, terrible damage on both sides. You can see the Zerg lost almost all of their forces to those D8 charges, to those proximity mines thrown down by the Reapers. At the same time, the Banelings swept in and just took out a huge number of the Terran Marines. You can see the Zerg are trying to press their advantage here and get in, but they don't have a lot of forces left. The Marines have managed to reinforce that bunker, and now the Zerg are just not really able to be very effective with what they have in the field. They got a couple of Roaches. The Marines are dancing around and making the Merfolk looks like a Marauder just came into play. That's going to be the end of that Roach right there, but there is still one Roach loose on the battlefield, and you can see it's gotten into the back here, and it's attacking that Marine, and now it's free to attack these SCVs. Here comes a Baneling trying to do some damage, and it does some damage to those SCVs. Not enough to take them all out, but still enough to hurt them very, very badly, and allow this Roach to get a lot of free kills on these SCVs.
Now, fortunately enough, Matt Cooper does have burrow research, so he's able to burrow that Roach while it very quickly regenerates its HP. That's going to enable it to recharge and still maintain just as big of a threat as it was in the first place.
Yeah, he's got this Commando Roach here in the back of the Terran base, just